was a runner that you hit off the glass. The one that almost like took a lift because you shot with great confidence. The two can lead after
All right. How about that? Eric Spoelstra getting his first time 8 straight losses in at the hand of the New York Knicks. You know we got to talk about this one. Let's get it going. The New York Knicks just returned from a long West Coast trip, what felt like an eternity, just to take on the Miami Heat at their home court. And what looked like it was about to be a snooze fest in the beginning because it looked like the Knicks were still jet lagged after coming off of a letdown game against the Golden State Warriors. The Miami Heat just get out to an early run, but thanks to a 15-0 run by Karl-Anthony Towns himself in the second quarter, he brings the Knicks within striking distance. And then what do you get? We get a Mikal Bridges fire third quarter to lead things off. And before you know it, where the Knicks were down 2 at half, this team was up by 24 points in the third quarter with the help of Mitchell Robinson giving you some stout defense and some putbacks. How about that? Almost a double-double for this man with between 4 blocks, a total of 4 blocks and 2 steals. He got 4 stocks to be exact. Then you get, who else do you get? You get Josh Hart with another triple-double, tying Walt Clyde Frazier's triple-double in one season with 8. And then you get Deuce McBride doing the damn thing too, man. This is a complete team effort. So much of a team effort we saw with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter after the Knicks gave the Miami Heat a shellacking. We got some Tyler Kolek minutes and Pacome Dadier. So you already know what it is, man. The New York Knicks would end up winning this one 116-95. Make sure the thumbs up button for your boys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And tonight's show is sponsored by DraftKings. All right? So let's get into this. Shout out to all the franchise channel members and the mods in here. JD, my man, what's going on, bro? The man with everything, with all the answers, my guy. What did you think about this one?
Great win. Knicks turned this into a bum night.
That they did.
They turned a rival. They turned a team that, has some traditional history and also recent history with a lot of animosity and physicality, some injuries, a little bit of everything. Some Jimmy Butler, former Miami Heat, when Karl-Anthony Towns dropped 40 plus on them. That led to some, drama in Golden State. And then Karl-Anthony Towns today plays like Jimmy Butler still on that team. He transfers over his response to Draymond Green, and I could have sworn maybe Draymond Green was on Miami tonight, the way that Karl-Anthony Towns played against Bam, as Perkins says, out of the bio. Great. I would say it's a very good win by the team because, it's the first game from a road trip. Seems like the Knicks haven't been at the Garden for a month. They've only played like one game in the last few weeks at Madison Square Garden. And also after that slow, lackadaisical, low energy start to the game where, you got down, I think it was 12 zip before we scored. And you started to wonder, is this going to be one of those nights? Is this the team, traveling back to New York on Sunday? Today's Monday, right back at it. Is this some fatigue? Is this the built-in excuse that people like to give these teams when they're coming back home, that first game on a road trip? And sometimes it's difficult, Alex, when you play that first game against a Eric Spoelstra coach team. But even the great Eric Spoelstra, there's no magic this season for the Miami Heat.
No magic at all. And that's what I like to see, man. I mean, we just handed this man his 8th straight loss to the Miami Heat. That's what I like to see, man. And to the at the hands of the Knicks, it's just that much sweeter. And especially as we've mentioned, man, where it looked like the Knicks were just not going to be in this. But hey, something happened in that second quarter where, it started with Towns saying, I'm not going out like this. And let's talk about Karl-Anthony Towns, man, because he had one hell of a second quarter. This man went 10 to 17 tonight from the field, gets 23 points, 7 boards, 3 assists. This guy was just surgical. absolutely surgical to go on a 15-0 run by himself, literally carrying the Knicks from the depths to get this thing back in, into the balance. And you watching him like at this point, man, we know how good he is, but to watch him impose his will when you don't have Jalen Brunson out there, right? It's like, all right, who are we going to go to now? We know it's got to be Cat because he's the second option, right? We know this is not a guy who could necessarily set himself up, but parts of this game he was setting himself up, especially when he was driving to the basket, or just even understanding that, hey, if my guard is bringing the ball up, let me trail because I could knock down those trailer threes. And he just understands where to attack and what his moment should be. And so for Catman in that second quarter, he just flipped the switch, and that's what you want to see, man. After a letdown game for him, like let's call a spade. He was not happy that they lost to the Golden State Warriors after the stupid comments from Draymond Green. Jimmy was leading that charge of like, oh, he's afraid of me after he just dropped 40 on his head, as you mentioned, down in Miami when he was still a Heat. There was still a little bit of just, like, I need to go out there and show people who I am and show that I can command this team and get us to victory. And that's what he did tonight, man. I thought he did exactly that in the second quarter.
And he is one of my two brightest spots tonight. You have to be encouraged if you're a New York Knicks fan, because this is back-to-back kind of like personal, seems like, performances where, you go against Draymond Green, you're on the road, on national television. Many want to see how you're going to respond to the Draymond comments. From the tip off, Draymond is challenging you, trying to take you out of your game, and you stay in the game and you respond with physicality. Draymond Green himself said he doesn't remember the last time he's seen Karl-Anthony Towns play kind of with that much like just physicality, that much just poise and determination. And then tonight you're going to go up against Bam Adebayo. Now, forget about the record, ladies and gentlemen. You can forget about records at this point of the season. A lot of times, a team like Miami, who's trying to make the play-in, the one-on-one matchup does still hold weight. And so, although Bam is probably not happy that the Heat don't have a good record and the Knicks are the better team, it doesn't mean that Bam doesn't want to come out tonight and outplay his opponent, even if his team wins or loses. You want to, make that statement. And Bam is known as a tough, gritty player that, tries to take you out of your game as well. He knows a little bit of a dirty player sometimes too.
Absolutely.
So for Cat to come out, have a 15-0 run by himself, and in that 15-0 run, you saw the full versatility of his talent: pull-up threes, transition three, rhythm threes, driving to the basket, dunks. I mean, you saw it all. And then even in his just on-court demeanor, I said maybe Draymond Green has activated Karl-Anthony Towns, where, you go up against Draymond Green and you're like, wait, if I did that to him, there's nobody else that could really get into, get me out of my game. And that's what I mentioned. Every teammate, whenever the New York Knicks moving forward, whenever they play the Celtics and they're going to throw Drew Holiday at him to throw him off, or Jaylen Brown, if they play the Cavaliers and they're going to throw DeAndre Hunter or Evan Mobley or whatever the case may be, if I'm a Knicks coach, I'm showing Karl-Anthony Towns, I'm going to give you the scouting report on the side, but you're going to watch your Draymond Green film. That's all you're going to watch. That's it. Look at how you got to the basket on a 6'7" all-time defensive wing. Look how you played your game. Look how you did not allow him to take you out of the game. Yes, you picked up the third foul, but it was a cheap foul. And look at how you were successful in getting the shots you wanted. If you can do that against Draymond Green, there shouldn't be many other, positional wings that should be able to have success against you. And so Karl-Anthony Towns, back-to-back games. And I think if you're a New York Knicks fan, you have to be encouraged by his play. And hopefully he continues it. Doing it in Jalen Brunson's absence should only boost his confidence.
You know what they should do, and it's just like I forget which documentary it was, but what was it? Where Kobe put the gold medal in Powell's locker. You know what I mean? Like to like, hey man, this is what you want to do, right? You want to win an NBA championship? Maybe they got to just print a photo of Draymond Green, put it in Cat's locker, be like, hey man, remember this guy because every single night you should go out and play like you're facing this guy. And you know, to add even a little bit more spice, put Jimmy Butler's photo in there too, man. You know, put both those photos in there. Get Cat activated because this is the guy that we need on a night-to-night basis, especially in the postseason, right? We've seen him against the Cavs. We've seen him against the Celtics. You know, a little too timid in those quarters. You got to come out and be like what you were in the second quarter against the Miami Heat, man. But you know who also was just impressive tonight, just as much as Karl-Anthony Towns? Our other big, Mitchell Robinson, man. How about him? Mitchie, no snitchy. My guy, Chef Money Mitch is back. Oh, my God, man. You know, CP's been on fire, man. You know, he's calling out the Brunson injuries. He's saying, hey, Mitchell Robinson's about to ramp up in minutes tonight. Hey, you know, this is why you tune into KnicksFanTV. CP's got the intel, man. CP's got the intel, all right? Don't got to worry about shams, nobody like that. CP already knows what it is. So, what do we have? We had Mitchell Robinson play 24 minutes tonight. 24 minutes. And he got you 10. He went 5 of 7 from the field, gets 10 points, 9 boards, 5 of them being offensive, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 blocks. My man is looking like he's back to being in prime form. And I mean, yo, Mitch, the defense, you could just see the defense is just starting to skyrocket, man. Every time, every game, it just seems like it's not like an even like graph just going up, right? But it's like you just see it. The more and more reps Mitch gets, the more and more time that he's out there on the floor, the impact that he has on the court is just insane. The intangibles, man, his athleticism, his reach. I mean, I tweeted about this one earlier today where I like the lineup of Deuce McBride, Josh Hart, Bridges, OG, and Mitch. I think that's just a lot of defense, and those guys can translate defense into offense, right? But the thing that entire lineup, and especially Mitch, has the intangible of just extending the play. And the one that I'm thinking about is where, you know, I think it was, I forget who it was that was driving to the basket, or maybe been an OG3 that was missed. And it looks like Bam's about to get the rebound, but because of Mitch's wingspan, he's able to knock the ball loose. Josh Hart gets it and gets an easy layup. And it's stuff like that, fighting for second chance opportunities, never giving up on 50-50 balls. It's stuff like that with that unit and Mitchell Robinson out there that this team can take it to another level. And I'm looking for how when he gets even more comfortable. I know it's only 24 minutes tonight, right? I think this is his 8th game back. Mitch can be that difference maker, man. I'm not saying he's going to take us to the promised land, but he can certainly be a difference maker.
Listen, man, all right.
Oh, he's adjusting the mic. He's about to go off. Here we go.
No. I'm just you know, CP thinks he's slick, you know, 7 at 16 p.m. You know, the game starts at 7:16 p.m. You know, CP wants to tweet, Mitchell Robinson should be getting a minute's ramp up starting this week. Could we see more Twin Tower looks? As he said, conditioning still a work in progress. Let's see how it goes. CP could have just said sources say, because that literally 20 minutes before the game is exactly how it played out. I just wonder how he got the info. I mean, the guy was only, you know, watching, you know, KnicksFanTV post game last game, and he even tuned in and gave us a little play-by-play, had some thoughts, right? So, you know, can't reveal the sources, but CP with the CAA ties, the Tibbs Fan TV ties. Was it Tibbs that called him? Was it Tibbs that texted him? Who gave him the game plan tonight? But you saw it tonight. It's crazy. He played 24 minutes. And how about the low post move, Alex?
Yo, man.
Hakeem Mitch. Hakeem Robinson. How about the low post move? And you saw the second possession after that. He thought he really was Hakeem. He was like, yo, nah, forget the play call. I'm a post up player now. And he didn't make it, right? And he fought for the basketball, but it was still a good move. And I started to say, whoa, Mitch is gaining some confidence. Sometimes when you see plays like that, it could be the start of a good night. And boy, it was the start of a very good night for Mitch Robinson tonight. And, you know, you saw just the stat sheet. He filled up the stat sheet. He had what, 9 rebounds? What was it here? 10 points, 2 blocks, and 2 steals with 9 rebounds. And this is how you know that Mitchell Robinson is on his game. 5 offensive rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
And you can count. How about the other ones that he tipped to his teammates? The other ones that he tipped, even the ones that he didn't get, but he's fighting for the basketball. He's making the other team scramble. He's making the other team work. I count even ones that he doesn't get. I count them as positive possessions, because you know what that does? When you're fighting for the basketball and you know, he tips it, then the Miami Heat player tips it, then he tips it back, and then a Miami Heat player ends up with the basketball, that usually allows you to set your defense, because a few players are under the basket. It allows your perimeter players to get back on defense. So even those possessions are not entirely negative possessions. So 5 offensive rebounds is your number one indicator that Mitchell Robinson is on his way back, ladies and gentlemen. And then you look at the 2 steals and the 2 blocks, and then 5 of 7 in 24 minutes. 5 of 7. He could have been 6 of 7 if he would have made that other move. But Mitchell Robinson, you know, having some confidence tonight. And again, you saw Tom Thibodeau talked about the Twin Towers look. You saw some of that again.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the beginning of seeing more of that? Tom Thibodeau in the postgame talking about how when you see that lineup with OG, he made sure to add OG to the equation. He says, I have OG with those two, he said the team is long.
Hey,
flagrant everything. But he said the team is long.
Good war.
What you think about that, Alex?
Where's my flag, man? I need to hold on one second.
Team has length.
Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Per Tom Thibodeau.
Give me a second.
Per Tom Thibodeau, bro. It was Tom Thibodeau that said that. Was it me?
Man.
What you calling a flag on? I'm just telling you what the coach said.
I'm throwing a flag on the coach, man. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. We don't need none of that around here.
I'm just the messenger, man. I'm just the conductor.
Yeah, you're the conductor. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting to CP vibes.
But the combination gives the team a defensive advantage. And I think moving forward, that's going to be a dangerous look, especially as we get ready for the playoffs.
Hey, it is going to be dangerous, man. And look, even with whether you have Cat out there with Mitchell Robinson and leave Cat at the 4, or you'd go with the lineup that I talked about where it's McBride, Bridges, Hart, OG, and Mitch. I mean, that's just it can change everything around, man. Absolutely everything around. You see how stifling it was. I mean, just in that third quarter alone, with that unit out there, Miami couldn't do anything. Miami was literally struggling to figure out how to get some offense, man. And, you know, they want to, shine their new toy, Tyler Hero, a.k.a. G.I. Jane, because, hey, we don't got Jimmy Butler anymore, so now we got to use the next best thing we got. It didn't work, man. Absolutely didn't work. And how about OG shutting down Tyler Hero? It's like, even with the shot clock violation, Tyler Hero thought he could get a shot off. Absolutely not. No, sirree, Bob. But hey, this is what's the cool part like about this team defensively.
Mitch is back, so defensive rating is up.
It's back up, man. And the thing is too, like, we know how bad Cat can be on defense, but when you got Mitch back there, it's like OG doesn't have to worry, Bridges doesn't have to worry, Deuce doesn't have to worry, Hart doesn't have to worry. It's like, oh, if someone gets past me, you just see it like every single time. It's like, whoa, every guard that tries to attack the paint, they got to pull back out and say, hey, we got to reset and figure things out, because this ain't what we want to see right now. Absolutely not, man. But salute to Knicks Nation. Thank you all for tuning in for the KFTV post game live. With me on the other side is my guy JD Sports Talk. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. We're gonna bring some callers on now, man. We want takes. Make sure to download Discord or go to the web browser, whatever fits your fancy. Need to hear your takes on this one tonight, man. It's a good game. Knicks won 116-95. So let's get to some of the callers right now. Zach, if you could unmute your mic, my man. Let's hear what you got to say about this game.
Good evening, Alex and JD.
Zach, what's happening, man? What'd you think about this? Yes, sir. We can hear you, man. Clear. Show is
Wonderful.
yours. What'd you think about this one?
I mean, as I always, like when I call in when we beat the Heat, I'm always a happy camper. Never, I never complain about beating the Heat. But I mean, as much as Bridges and Towns showed out and Mitch, found his legs tonight, I mean, Hart, after the debacle that he showed in Golden State with a plus 31, I got to give him his dues, man. He really, and the triple double, he found himself tonight, and that really provided a big impetus for this win.
Absolutely, man. Josh Hart was so impactful tonight, man. We'll talk about his game in a bit, but Josh Hart was, this is what we want out of him, man. We need him to be that, constant X factor. Him and Mikal Bridges are both X factors in my opinion, but with how Josh Hart performs, like he could be the absolute difference maker. And look, without any production from him against the Golden State Warriors, if we just get a little bit from him, man, because it was even like we're used to him playing at 120%. This man was like 10%. If we just had it 50%, we could have won that game.
Oh, I mean, the Golden State Warriors game was an interesting game because if you noticed, 4 players scored 90 points out of our entire team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was just an anomaly. But I mean, tonight was a big win for their motivation. And then Cat, that second quarter, he just took over.
Yeah, and Cat was just on one that second quarter, man. Absolutely on one in that second quarter. But appreciate you calling in, Zach. Appreciate you always tapping in, my man.
Always, my guys. And yeah, that Draymond, I'm happy Draymond said that because it looks like Cat has stepped his game up big time.
Big time. Absolutely.
Am I seeing that right? Holy smokes.
All right. Appreciate Zach for calling in as always. What are you seeing, JD? You had to put on the glasses for a second. What's happening, man?
And I mean, I can't even put on I got to put on the dark ones. I'm like, what? 46 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 of 14 from 3. God.
Who are you talking about?
Quentin Grimes.
Oh.
Bro, it's like, whoo. I'm like, yo. Wow, that's Dallas luck, of course.
Not only, man, Dallas is.
I'm just saying, like, it's a Knicks show, but it's like I couldn't believe it. I'm like, yo, he's really on some other ish.
I mean,
right now. Woo.
Guys just need an
Shout out to
opportunity,
him.
JD. I mean, look, I think all of us we're all Grimes hive on this panel for when he was a Knick, man, because we all saw the intangibles, we all saw it. We're not gonna go too far into Quentin Grimes. We can at the end of the show, but hey, this is the way he's scoring, man. Like it's not like he's just jump shots. He's getting into the teeth of the defense and putting up like layups, man. This man is just showing off, scoring all 3 phases. But hey, this is a Knicks show. We don't have to kick the Mavs down too bad, although Nico Harrison should be on witness protection. That man, I don't know how he still has a job right now.
You do got to be careful at this time of year, though. Teams are tanking. Remember the OB run? Like I'm just saying, you got to be a little careful this time of year. Everybody's getting crazy usage, especially the bad teams. Stats get a little inflated. But
sure.
I don't know, man. He's definitely looked like he's turned his career around.
It looks a little different, man. It looks a little different. No one says he has to put up 40 every single night, but it just looks a little different. But let's get to another call, man. Let's get to Anthony on the line. Anthony, what's going on, my man? Unmute your mic. What's happening? Anthony going once. Anthony going twice. Man. All right, Anthony. We'll come back to you, man. We'll come back to you. Thought you were ready. All right. Let's bring some other call and let's get to somebody else. Let's get to our guy, Carlo from the Philippines. Carlo, what's happening, my guy? Carlo, are you there?
No.
You? What's happening, my man? What's going on?
Alex and JD, kamusta kayo mga kumpare?
What's happening, man? We're enjoying this Knicks win, man.
I have a few words to say about this game. Any Knicks win against the Heat really makes my day. I think this is the first time since the 90s where we won the season series against them. I think so. But Kat in the first quarter was great. His offensive arsenal compensates for his insufficiency on defense. Although he really needs to address his defense on the coverage. And he's really being exposed most recently last game against the Warriors. So I hope it's fixable since he's been in the league for almost a decade. And I also think Mitchell Robinson is not the only one who's tuning in on KFTV, but I think Josh Hart also listens to our criticisms because I didn't see any jump passes nor hesitation. Uh, and Mitchie proving us wrong that he's not gassed because he's playing like he has pair of lungs. I thought I saw Patrick Ewing on those post up moves, not Hakim Olajuwon. Also, kudos also to the coaching staff. I don't know if it's Rick or Dice who's in charge on the replays, but they won 2 out of 2 challenges today. So and also shout out to Tibbs for playing Daddy A and Kolek. And who else? Precious. Precious had a decent game for me. I'm a part of a show enough Hive. He just need more minutes to beef up his confidence. I think there was this one play that I always observe on him. He's good in deflecting and denying passes in the post. I've seen him do this against elite centers like Jukic. But I'm giving the game ball to Mikal. He's playing more aggressive and he attacks to the basket more frequently. If Precious is the shogun of Harlem, Mikal is my Bruce Leroy because
Mm.
I can see the aura glowing in him in this past few games. And yeah, that's all I have. Hey, we need a post game interview with Mitchell Robinson.
Oh.
Don't you think?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh,
call us up on Discord, Mitchie.
Oh,
Yeah, Mitch.
yes.
Mitch, tap into the Discord, man. I know you're familiar with the internet game. Come on, man. We know you know how to use TikTok. Download Discord, man. Give us a call. Let us know what you think. Give us some insight on your game tonight.
Yeah.
He,
Hey,
he
one
might
more thing.
surprise us one day.
One more thing. Alex JD.
Mhm.
Hello? Yeah,
Yep.
shout out to Dr. Philip McDonald of X-Rated. I watched that episode last week and I'm glad to see another fellow radiologist and a diehard Knicks fan like myself talk about the things that we love. And I also work in teleradiology like him. However, I don't own a sports team though. I'm just your old plain Tito Carlo. So yeah, that's it. Good.
Appreciate
the
Thank
call.
you.
Always
appreciate
bringing
the call, Carlo,
always bringing
man.
the fire. He always bringing the good takes
Always, man.
with a
Always,
little
man.
bit of style.
Always, man. And look, this man's calling in from the Philippines, so he's calling in from the other side of the world. He's staying up before he goes to his job, man. Before he's going to save lives. Carl always doing the damn thing, man. Always doing the damn thing. But both callers, man, between Zach and Carlo, they have brought up Mikal Bridges. He had a phenomenal game tonight. I know we didn't talk about him in the first, in the opening of the show, but he went 10 of 14 from the field. Talk about shooting over 70% tonight. Went 4-6 from downtown, 4-4 from the free throw line. That's nice to see. He's finally embracing contact, slowing the game down and getting to the free throw line. Had 28 points tonight, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 board. It was a scoring, though, tonight. It was a scoring, though, tonight for Mikal Bridges because when you get the scoring from Cat, you're like, all right, man, we need something else now. We need somebody else to come through, really lift this team up, and that was Bridges. And especially when you don't have Jalen Brunson, the number one on this team when it comes to scoring, being captain clutch, we already know what Brunson can do. Bridges has been filling to that role admirably over the last couple of games after Brunson, rolled his ankle. And so just another solid performance from Bridges where, it looked like in the first half it was going to be a quiet night for him. I think he only had 5 or 6 shot attempts. And it's like, yo, you gotta get a little bit more up, man. You gotta put up some points. We need you. And that he did in the third quarter, man. Right off the rip. Mikal Bridges, 28 points tonight, man.
He didn't play like Michelito. He played like Mikal. He didn't play like Michelito. Right?
Oh man, so this is gonna be the thing. Whenever he has a bad game, it's Michelito.
Yeah, exactly. He played like Mikal Bridges tonight. And you mentioned that third quarter, that was his performance right there. 15 points in the third quarter, 6 of 7 from the field, and he made a 3-point shot. And that was the game right there because the Knicks took off in the third quarter, 41 points. He scored 15 of those 41, which led to the Knicks shooting 70% in that third quarter. You created the separation. and the game was over. And he was a big part of that in the third quarter. So Mikal had an outstanding night. And you see it with that little mid-range game when he is just more decisive into being an aggressive scorer. When it's in his mindset, you see it out on the court in terms of the confidence. Like how sweet that fadeaway, little mid-range shot but into the restricted area. You see how sweet it looks? He's like a little bit sideways, he's a little off balance, but his mechanics is still aligned with the back of the basket, and it just looks smooth, nothing but the bottom of the net. You see the confidence in that type of shot right there. When you're making those shots and when it looks pretty on TV, that tells me you have confidence in getting those shots. But when he doesn't, is when you see him get to that area and he takes that little extra step of hesitation. He stops his dribble, looks to kick it back out to the 3-point line. That's when he doesn't have his confidence. So he needs to continue to play with that mindset. Now, the key is always going to be, how is this whole thing going to look when Brunson's back? Because he needs to maintain that aggressiveness. But Mikal, no Micalito, Mikal Bridges with a great performance tonight. And listen, the Knicks have a nice stretch here in the next 3 games. They're playing the tanking San Antonio Spurs. You got the race for Cooper Flag between the Charlotte Hornets and the Washington Wizards after that. So again, this is a little nice schedule here after a ridiculous road schedule where not only Mikal, but everyone else, Mitchell Robinson, can continue to, gain their conditioning, but also continue to build confidence in their offensive games, because the defense is certainly improved since Mitchell Robinson's return.
We got Eddie. Shout out to Eddie Swartz for being a franchise channel member. So we got Micalito for when Bridges is just horrible. When he's average, I like this one, Miguel Bridges. And then when he's back to being who he's supposed to be, Mikal Bridges. There we go. There we go. That's the level. Those are the levels that we get to rate him at. That's how you know. We'll get into the details of how good Bridges' game on is based on the. All right. But the other guy that performed very well tonight, man, Josh Hart, triple-double. This guy was literally a 0 out in Golden State, man. And just part of that West Coast trip was just rough, man. He couldn't really do anything. I mean, shout out to Carlito talking about Carlito. Now you got
oh my
God.
God.
You got me.
You rhyming now.
Shout out to Carl for talking about, Mikal Bridges, not Josh Hart not doing jump passes. He had a stable game today, man. He had a stable game.
Stable game.
Stable. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, let me stay grounded. Let me knock down some threes. Let me, be that facilitator, that initiator. Let me be the hustle guy that everybody knows me for. He did exactly that, man. And once again, gets a triple-double, ties, I should say. Wildcard Frazier's single season record for 8 triple-doubles. And just phenomenal game for Josh Hart, man. When you think you're like, got to be out on Josh Hart in the starting lineup, but not saying that I am, but the fan base, you know how it is. They want Deuce McBride in the starting rotation. They want Josh Hart back on the bench. Comes out, gives you a triple-double, gives you confidence once again on why he is put in that starting lineup. And you just see how versatile he is, man, and how important he is to that rotation.
Nice bounce back game, 12, 11, and 13, 4 steals. Always love to see that in terms of blocks or steals. 4, tells you right there, you got your team additional possessions and you were able to make them pay for turning the basketball over. So he had a block shot, 9 shots in 29 minutes, 5 of 9. And I do like the 5 3-point attempts because, he's going to have to let it go. He's going to have to let it fly, and he's going to have to be confident. 2 of 5, we'll take that, right? Like we'll take 2 of every 5 threes. I'll take 2, right? Because that's 4 for 10. That's 40% right there. And if he's hovering around 36 to 40%, I mean, that's excellent for a player of his position and the way that he's going to be defended. So I would say it's a solid game. I think he tied Walt Frazier for 8 triple doubles, the most by a Knick in a season. Walt Frazier had 8. Well, he's tied. So Walt Frazier had more than 8, in his 68-69 season. So there is a little bit of a milestone for Josh Hart, which, is a testament to his effort this season and his play. But he's one of those like tough, gritty players, but he is really, he plays a lot on confidence as well. Like when his confidence is not there, even though he's gritty, he's tough, he's going to continue to battle. You see that it does affect his passing, and it does affect him picking his spots when he has to shoot. Right. So like when he doesn't have his confidence, he he'll get the same spacing he does when he has confidence, but when he doesn't, it's like he doesn't know, okay, what should I do? Should I dribble here? Should I take the shot? I am open. Should I take the shot? Like, should I put pressure on the defense? When he doesn't have confidence, he's very, very, very much a hesitation player. So he needs to, continue to build on this game because the team is going to need him in the playoffs. And for right now, Alex, every game as we continue to analyze this as we hit the stretch run for the playoffs, everything from this point forward is about the playoffs. Everything is a dress rehearsal for the playoffs. Everything is a confidence building moment for the playoffs. So Josh Hart just needs to continue to build. Again, just like everyone else, you have a nice schedule here. Continue to build your confidence and then get ready to face a few good teams. I can't wait to play the Celtics again in a few weeks.
Hey man, well, I need to see some difference. When they play the Celtics in a few weeks, man. Even the Cavs are going to face the Cavs in a few weeks too, man.
We're going to face them first, April 2nd.
Hey, and these are look. I know it's the regular season. People are going to say, "Hey, don't make too much about the regular season." But you saw what Jokic said, man. He's like, you can't turn up a gear when you get to the postseason. How you perform during the regular season is going to dictate how you play in the postseason. Okay, you can't just be like, all right, we're gonna cruise and then we'll just flip a switch. I want to see it, man. I just got to see it. And
speaking of that, because Jokic had some comments about that. I don't know if you got a chance to see it.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't, I'm not going to tell you to after.
All right.
Do you believe in the flipping a switch? Do you believe in that? Do you think that's real for a team, or you think it's real for a player, or either or?
Do I believe in flipping a switch? Well, he said look, I don't believe in the whole flipping a switch to the degree where it's like we're going to cruise and then we'll really jack it up another level. I believe that some teams are more prepared for playoff intensity. But like if we're going to talk about the Jimmy Butler switch, which is like how many guys do what Jimmy Butler does? Not many do it. You know what I mean? And that's where it's so like there's always the exception. But I'm not really a big believer in like there's very few guys that can do it, but I'm not the biggest believer in saying we can cruise and then we'll flip the switch.
Yeah, Jokic doesn't believe. His thoughts was more as team oriented. So he's saying like as a team, he was talking about, and I think the Nuggets were coming off a loss last game actually, and he doesn't believe in that. He says what the way you are in the regular season is how you gonna be in the playoffs. I agree with that, but that doesn't mean you saw the Cavs fans in the comments getting hyped, like you see. But I'm like, hold up, you still got something to prove. The Celtics. So like I believe in that, but you do get those regular season teams that have a great regular season and they can't transfer it into the playoffs. But I think his point was more for the championship teams. You see the Celtics now, the Nuggets, who are held to that standard, right? You saw a lot of it with the championship Lakers and the Shaq Kobe era, where sometimes it seemed like they cruised during the regular season. And you even heard it with the Knicks, like people that still have high hopes for this team in terms of the talent level clicking. There's some fans that think that once the playoffs start and Mitchell Robinson, like maybe this team can elevate and flip a switch. I think the switch is more based on the player, as you mentioned, those Jimmy Butler types, maybe. But overall, I think it's more of you see it a few times, and everybody thinks that everyone can do it. So I don't
Yeah.
think it's something that, and if you're relying on that, you're in trouble.
That's the thing.
And I think that's what Jokic was saying with the Nuggets.
Exactly. And the thing with like the Cavs, it's like it's one thing to be a dominant team during the regular season, but it comes down to it's not. I would say for the Cavs, they've proven that they're a good team during the regular season. That is more execution in my part, right? It's not like, all right, we'll cruise and then we'll really, jack this thing up and then we'll really show you what we're all about. We'll execute at a different high level. We're going to be our offense is going to look like, we're 10 out of 10 every single night. It doesn't go like that. When I hear, like, when I look at that, it just purely, as I said, comes down to execution. So, for the Knicks, this is just still more time for them to build momentum. They got Mitchell Robinson back. Unfortunately now Brunson's out for a bit, but the whole, silver lining in this, JB, we already know what JB is in the postseason. He doesn't change. What we do need is for the rest of these guys to understand how to play and add to what JB is. And that's what Bridges is showing us. That's what Cat is showing us. And so maybe Tibbs, this is where we're going to need Tibbs, man, to look at this and be like, how do I construct these lineups so that way everybody can thrive? And when we need to, go down to Brunson into the last 5 minutes if we need to close, because I'm sure you notice it, man. I notice it. A lot of fans notice it. Fourth quarter, it becomes ISO basketball, and we just as soon as Brunson checks back in, it's like, all right, man, save us, carry us home, and it's like, why? Why are we not? This man now just played 28 minutes. Now we're gonna extend him up to 36 minutes to now just take us all the way home. That's not a recipe for winning the entire thing, man. So hopefully we're able to use everything right now or the team can utilize all these learning moments and apply it in the postseason. That's what I'm hoping for. But hey, man, we got more callers on the line. Let's get to another caller. We got Anthony. Anthony, you're back here on the line. Anthony, what's good, my man? How you feeling?
Yo, what's up, guys?
What's
How y'all
up,
doing?
man? Good. How
I'm
you feeling
chilling,
tonight?
JD, Alex. I'm good, brother. Man, way to get back in the win column, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was huge, man. I ain't gonna lie, I made a little nervous out the gate. Looked flat, no energy. I was scared, man.
Real.
I was like, yo, dude, I was like, oh, here we go. One of those lackluster nights.
Yep. It would have been
But
abysmal, man, if we had to deal with that.
dude, oh, come on, bro. Right out the gate. But yo, hats off to Cat, man, waking us up, offensively in that second quarter with that 15-0 run, personal 15-0 run.
Mm-hmm.
That was big time, man. Good contributions, bro. From the guys, 34 bench points, I believe. I think it's around there, 34.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see Mikal playing well consistently. Josh with the bounce back game was huge. Mitch, bro, the activity, the disruptiveness, man. It's just, 100% his best game since he's come back. That's without
For
a
sure.
doubt, right?
For sure.
Yeah, he looked amazing, bro. Second half defense, we were pretty much a blanket. Yeah, we were fantastic, man. Amazing second, third efforts, bro. That's big for us. Look, bro, we're top 3 defense since Mitch's come back in the league.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot, man, to his impact. I got a question for you guys, man. And this is probably not the night for it because the bench was pretty good and Campaign played decent, in my opinion. But I want to hear from you guys. When the fans, especially me, I'm an advocate to wanting to see Tyler Kolek. I want to see Tyler Kolek. When the game is in the balance, not when we're up 30. What do you guys think of that?
Whew. Seeing Cole again. I would love to see Cole again.
I just want to hear from other people. I speak with my uncle and my cousins, and we all talk. We go back and forth about it, and I'm one that's just a huge advocate for it, dude. And you know what's so crazy? I was an advocate 2 years ago when Deuce and Quentin was sitting on the bench, and I was like, "Yo, let the guys get in there and play. Let them get it. Let them get in there and make their mistakes, and let them gain their confidence." So I'm kind of like in that same spot with Tyler, and I just want to hear it from you guys, man. What do you think of that?
I would like to see Kolek play. Look, we got a campaign 3 tonight, so you know we're gonna win once he hits the 3. So that was, that was lucky.
For sure.
Well,
Dude, I'm sorry, Alex, but that nutty a 3-point attempt from the corner that the side of the backboard is driving me nuts.
hey, that's the campaign experience, man. That's the campaign experience. But look, I would like to see Cole just because I would like to see, even though Deuce has been doing a solid job being a
Mhm.
playmaker and initiating, I would like to see Kolek too. Before the season started, I thought he was going to get some minutes in December, but
For sure.
this is just the Tom Thibodeau thing, man. Like I said, I would like to see Kolek get minutes. I can't say that he is deserving of minutes because we haven't really seen him play that much, and
Right.
I haven't really kept up with the Westchester Knicks in a minute to see how he's performing down there. But if Tibbs isn't playing him, and I mean, you could have so many opportunities to choose him over campaign.
For sure.
It's got to be a testament to Kolek's lack of defense if he's not playing. But JD, what do you think, man?
Yeah, JD, where's your head at with that?
Um, I think now is probably the time to start going that route. You have
Mhm.
about 15 games left, and then you look at this 3-game stretch. If anything was like tonight, you're gonna have a few blowout victories, or you hope that's the way it goes in these next couple games.
Right.
Charlotte, San Antonio, Washington. Um, I get what you're saying, Anthony. Like even a game like tonight where it's like 5 minutes left, it's like
Yeah.
6 minutes left, and the team is up 28 or something,
Right.
and the coach still has the starters. Because you know how it goes when they play the bench guys and there's 2 minutes left, you're gonna get like what, maybe 1.5 possession of a real, because when it gets
Right.
under a minute, everybody's just jogging. Nobody's really running a play. So you'll see
Bro.
that he came out for the last 2 minutes, but in a 2.5 minutes blowout, they really only play like 1 or 2 possessions, and then the last under a minute,
He
they're just
dribbled
like
it out.
jogging. So you don't really learn anything. So yeah, I would like to get them out a little bit early, but this has been the conversation with Tiz for years, man. At this point,
Mhm.
it's just not.
Mhm.
It's one of those things. Deuce had to go through it. Everyone, had to go through it. Even Emmanuel quickly with Alfred Payton had to go through it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's one of those things where this is probably going to be a next year thing, and with
Mhm.
the way that the CBA is, they better. I tell you what, they better try to
No
develop one of
doubt.
these guys because they're not
No
going to have
doubt.
they're not going to have a choice.
Yo, and before I go, man, I know we got a lot of other callers, but bro, I just love Tyler's game. Like you saw even tonight when he came in and we got that motion offense and he comes off that pick and he gets into the lane and he has that passing gift. You saw it. He fed, I think it was Daddy, I think it was for that little jump hook. And it was just, I don't know. I just think Tyler has the feel for the game. I think the more reps he gets and the more the game slows down for him, he's just going to be able to just pick people apart and we'll get better shots from the perimeter because of his ability to see the floor and get into the lane. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
we'll see, man. I feel you got what you guys are saying. I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for the call. And we'll be talking in the future, man. Let's go. Let's go Knicks, man. On to San Antonio and let's get a win.
Shout out to you, Anthony, for always calling in, my man. My man just joined. My man joined, became a franchise channel member, has been calling in on the regular. Shout out to you, Anthony. All right, appreciate the call from you, my guy. So, hey, got some cold questions, man. And look, I hear it too. And you know what the thing is? When it became the Emmanuel Quickly, like when we were asking for more Emmanuel Quickly, like when he, got the playing time under Tibbs' rookie season, it was like there's no choice, right? Like there's legitimately no choice. Like Tibbs had to play him because like you're looking at that roster, like who you like we're really gonna be saying like, hey man, Reggie Bullock, you're gonna be carrying us all the way home next to Julius. Like that's like somebody had to come through. You know what I mean? This one, this situation, it's just like this leans to Tibbs way too much. Where your entire starting five's good enough where it's like, yeah, I don't need to play the rookie, man. I can rely on my vets, even if the vets on the bench aren't that great. I can rely on them and not have to play the rookies right now. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I just know where the logic is. I know exactly where the logic is. All right. But hey, let's get into our next portion of the show, man. Let's talk about key stats. Let's talk about the key stats of tonight, brought to you by DraftKings. And, looking at this game, man, We already know the Knicks won 116-95, but when we start looking down the stats, Knicks barely won the rebounding battle 41-39. Knicks dominated the assist battle tonight 30-23. They also dominated they won the steal battle. I'll go that way. 12-9 when it came to the steal battle. Tie when it came to blocks, 6 for 6. Knicks won the turnover battle. They only had 13 to the Heat's 20. And now when it came to shooting, here we go. Knicks shot 50% from the field while the Heat shot 48%. From downtown, Knicks were shooting a whopping 47% while the Heat shot 26%. And then from the free throw line, here we go, JD. Here we go. The Knicks were 100% from the free throw line while the Miami Heat shot 92%. And then when you start looking at the second chance points, Knicks won that battle 21-20. Knicks would barely lose the points in the paint battle 58-56. Miami Heat had 58 while the Knicks had 56. But overall, I thought these were some good stats for the Knicks tonight. My biggest takeaways are the second chance opportunities, Mitchell Robinson just being that dominant force. That's why they also won the rebounding battle. And the assist, the team was moving the rock, man. That's what you want to see. And that's why it led to this team just really getting out to a good start in that third quarter. What are your biggest takeaways from the stats tonight?
100% from the free throw line. 6 free throws.
Hey,
that
was
100%. 100%. So shout out to the team for not missing one free throw there. But I look at the 3-point game, Alex. They're sixth. What is that? They sixth? Yes, they're sixth in the NBA in 3-point efficiency, 37% as a three from the 3-point arc. But they're only 27th in the league in 3-point attempts. They're averaging 34 3-point attempts per game. That's 27th. And how many did they shoot tonight? 34 3-point attempts. So that right there has been one of the interesting dynamics of this team, where they're shooting very well in the top 10, 6th in the NBA, but they're not getting enough 3-point shots to their efficiency. And 16 of 34 is impressive, but as I mentioned, they could have gotten up to 40. And you see it too in rhythm, especially the Karl-Anthony Towns threes. You see it, with Deuce. Even Josh Hart got 5. So when the team is going, you want to continue to hit the volume, just because in today's NBA, sometimes that shot can get you an early night in the showers, and you can get some early rest, although not on Tom Thibodeau's team, but you can put up a lot of W's early on, and you make yourself a lot more difficult to defend, even an Eric Spoelstra coach team without Jalen Brunson. He didn't even want to play zone tonight. Notice he didn't want to play. He didn't want to play zone tonight because that ball was moving. 30 assists and 47% from the 3-point arc tonight. So that's my stat of the night.
Bro, we 3 minutes to go. Tibbs puts in that the I guess like the bench, like the deep bench unit, and then I see McBride checking in to go with them as well. It's like, what? This is our 6th man. Why is he going back out there, man? You got Kolek out there. You got come on, man. We don't need none of that. We don't need none of that at all. But those are the key stats. I agree with you, my man. Those are the key stats of the night, brought to you by DraftKings. And people, let me tell you a little bit about DraftKings. Right? When it comes to hold on one second. Let me get this right. Let me get this situated. When it comes to college basketball and March Mania, one thing is for sure. Nothing is for sure. Upsets, buzzer beaters, Cinderella's advancing, top seeds going home early. It's all gonna happen. Bet the unexpected every upset every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. With live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays, DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. If this is your first time, here's something special for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly, all right? Look, we got March Madness on the way. UNC somehow makes it in here after having a lackluster season, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to bet against them, man, when I see them on the app. So make sure to go to DraftKings and place your first bet, all right? Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KFTV. That's code KFTV for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario, so sorry for our Canada people. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Right? So make sure to download that DraftKings app and get your bets in. All right, let's get back to this, man. Let's get back to this. All right, I see we got some people still on the line. Let's go with Tone. Tone, what's happening, my man? Unmute your mic. What do you think about this game? Tone, are you there? Tone, going once. Going twice? Man. People just missing their opportunities, man. It's like Eminem out here, man. You get one shot, one opportunity, all right? It's 8 Mile. Come on, people. Catch up. All right. What else do you want to talk about tonight, JD? I mean, there's a lot. I mean, you know what we can go to? How about this? Dan, pull up the thing for Tracy Morgan. Just want to, wish the best for Tracy Morgan tonight, man. They talked about a fan. There's a little rumbling saying a fan, was sick, threw up on the garden floor, and it was revealed that it was one Tracy Morgan. Don't want to show the frontal image of this, but we'll show from the rear that it was one Tracy Morgan that was ill tonight, and just well wishes to Tracy. Hopefully he's doing better, man. He had to be pushed out in a wheelchair. Hopefully he returns back to the garden floor, man, to root for the New York Knicks as always. So we're sending our best to you, Tracy. Hopefully for a speedy recovery and that everything's okay. All right, man. Right.
Yeah, that was tough to watch, man. Tough to, because first you thought it was a fan, and then when you hear it's Tracy Morgan, it's like, oh,
yeah, man.
Especially
after all he's been through, man. Especially the truck accident. You know what I mean? Like he's gone through so much, and you don't want to see.
Hopefully, it's not a big deal. Hopefully, it's just he was eating something, got something delivered from the concession stand, and because it's vomiting, so maybe it was just an upset stomach. Hoping it's just one of those normal. Listen, he comes. He's been to so many Knicks games. It's okay to be sick one day. It happens. Maybe he was drinking. Maybe he's mixing something. I'm going, the positive route. Hopefully, it's nothing more serious. But and it hopefully it isn't. And then next time we hear from Tracy Morgan, if he's good, he's gonna make a joke out of it, because that's just who he is as a a legendary comedian.
For sure, man. You already know. Especially for I enjoyed watching 30 Rock. He was great on 30 Rock. But how that's exactly true, man. He'll make a joke out of it if he's all right. But once again, we're wishing him well wishes. All right, man. Let's go. JJ saying St. Patty's Day ish. Hey, man. We don't know. All right. We know people like to celebrate St. Patty's Day. And how about that Jamal Crawford one? How about seeing that on the on the timeline, man? Jamal Crawford in the green, the retro green Knicks uniform, man, knocking down the shot.
Jamal's doing an outstanding job, man. He looks like he's gonna be the future. Looks like he's gonna be one of the new faces for the next generation of Knicks fans.
I hope so, man. He does a great job. And we were undefeated whenever he commentated on any MSG Network game, 7-0. So I like the breakdown, man. It's always better than listening to like Shaq being like, I never watched the Detroit Pistons, but yet you're up there, got to commentate on something, man. It's just tomfoolery at this point. Like this is where for the whole dialogue, like, why are NBA ratings so low? I don't know. Yeah. People up top, especially on TNT, are just disparaging the game, saying I don't watch it. So why, if they're not tuning in trying to break it down, why should anybody else tune in to watch and understand what's going on? Unless you're a true diehard fan of the NBA like we are. But just nonsense, man. Absolute nonsense. But hey, JD, let's wrap up this show, man. We got, as you said, we got the Spurs this week, we got the Hornets this week, we got the Wizards this week. We sweeping this week, man. We going 4-0 this week. I mean, we just got the win against the Heat. We
Oh
going
yeah,
4-0?
4-0. 4-0.
4-0? I like that
Absolutely.
confidence.
Absolutely. 4-0. Absolutely. There's not, I mean, the way that, how many of those games are going to be on at home? Let's see. How many of these games are going to be at home? You should win all of them. No, you should. I mean, you have the next game. They are at this is at San Antonio, at Charlotte, and then okay, you should win the next 5 at San Antonio, at Charlotte. Now, the tricky thing is that Charlotte game is on the second of a back-to-back. And, I hate that little built-in excuse. Seems like it doesn't matter who you play. It's like, oh, the team just always just lackadaisical in that second game. Then you have the Wizards Saturday night. Hopefully they don't, they're not thinking about having some hookah on a Saturday night or going out. It is March 22nd. The weather's starting to pick up here in New York. People starting to go to Dykeman. People want to go to different places. So I don't know. Hopefully they're not overthinking the Cooper Flag Washington Wizards. And then you have Dallas, who, come on, Dallas is that's a dumpster fire right now. And then you got to get your lick back against the Clippers. That's a get back right there.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, man. I'm in agreement with you.
I'm going at 5-0.
I'm in agreement with you.
5-0 before we play Milwaukee Bucks. Bro, like he's not even being biased or anything, but just look at these teams.
No,
like, I mean, where could you even say maybe that game? Where?
I think the only one, as you said,
what's the maybe?
I think it's the second night of a back-to-back. That's the only maybe I can give, but that's really it. And I don't like at the end of the day, like this team is way too talented against all these teams. As you said, these guys are in the race for Cooper Flag. These guys aren't trying to win right now.
They'll be happy to give us the game. They'll be happy. What do you mean? They'll be happy to let the Knicks win these games. I mean, come on.
Wemby and Cooper Flag sounds like a cheat code. I don't want to see that happen though. But
bro, right now you got the Wizards in Utah for the running.
Ugh.
Come on, bro. Right now, you got the Utah Jazz. Oh, hold on. The Pelicans, the Wizards. These are your top 5 right now. The Jazz, Pelicans, Wizards, Hornets, Nets, and Sixers. You know how this is, man. I could totally see the Nets going from 5-1. I could see the Sixers going from 6-1. And maybe I could see the Charlotte Hornets because of the whole LaMelo thing. LaMelo and Cooper Flag. Bro, the league is going to send Cooper Flag to Utah?
I hope not. Oh, Danny Ainge got some.
I mean, listen, Cooper Flag is going to fit right in.
For sure. I mean, the state of Utah would be thrilled. Let me tell you, they'd be like,
he's going to fit right in.
Next best thing is Gordon Hayward.
He'll fit right in Utah.
That's for sure.
But after that, man, with Cooper Flag, after the draft they had last season, where I can't even tell you who was the number 1 pick last year. Brooklyn Nets at 5, Sixers at 6. I could see the league trying to save the Sixers. I could see the league trying to put a little, little more swag to the New York rivalry. Cooper Flag in New York and Brooklyn.
So I just went to tankathon.com and did the simulator to see who comes out with the first overall pick. And
oh my God, don't tell me.
Well, who do you think it is?
The Brooklyn Nets?
Nah, it's the Utah Jazz. It was the Utah Jazz with the number 1 pick. Number 2, jumping up 6 spots, is the San Antonio Spurs. Number 3 is the Washington Wizards. Number 4 is the Toronto Raptors. Number 5 is the Charlotte Hornets. Number 6 is the Pelicans. And here's the best part. Because the Sixers have a top
lose
6
the
pick. They lose the pick because they're number 7.
That would be epic. That would
Dude,
be
epic. That would be that's must-see TV to watch the Sixers come out with the 7th overall pick. Oh my God. Please.
Damn.
For what Joel Embiid did, that team needs eternal bad luck. All right? Eternal.
Bro, and that's why a lot of these teams thinking Cooper Flag getting a lot of the hype, but man, this is the draft to get one of those top picks. You know, you got Harper, you got Ace Bailey, you know, you got Edgecombe, you got Trey Johnson. Like you got a lot of, you know, pretty talented players that are going to be in this draft. So
for sure, man.
But
for sure.
I do want low key. I do want Flag to be like a net, or because I just think it just makes it fun in the NBA, man.
Interesting.
This kid goes to the Wizards. He's gonna be forgotten for a few years. Look what's going on. Think about this. You talk about what's going on with the NBA ratings, and you talk about what's going on with the NBA marketing, the lack of additional storylines, right? We're looking to pass the baton from the LeBrons, and look at the debacle in Phoenix with Kevin Durant and you know, Steph Curry with this Jimmy trade has actually gotten a rejuvenation, right? But you look at that and just when you look at who could have been the face of the NBA, that whole topic with Anthony Edwards and this, you know who could have been the face of the NBA? You know who had the perfect profile? You know who has the profile of being on First Take every day, talk drama? If Zion Williamson would have been a New York Knick.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If Zion Williamson would have been a New York Knick and his career would have been more in the healthy route, Zion Williamson would have been a prime candidate to be that face of the league. But he goes to New Orleans, he gets hurt a few times, and you kind of get forgotten. You know, the box office goes a little bit, you know, it rubs, you know, it just phases out a little bit. And now he's just trying to rebuild his career. So for that reason, I wouldn't mind seeing Cooper Flag next door. I wouldn't mind seeing Cooper Flag in a big market. I just think it just adds more intrigue to the NBA.
Well, he would certainly be in a big market, but I don't know if Brooklyn's truly a big market team. I mean, there's not really a lot of interest over there. I mean, if anything, you know, if you want a big market, then I feel like Philly would have to be that team. If you want them to get lucky, can you imagine like him with Maxey or stuff like that? That would be interesting. But to your point, like I think the other issue, like I think Zion could have gotten more appeal if he was healthy, as you pointed. Even in New Orleans, like they tried, but every single time they like booked like what 20, 30 games for him to be on national TV, he was never there except for like one season. And so that's what happens, man. You don't get to see these guys as often. Like I feel like even the league just does a bad job when it comes to planning for like these small market teams. Like OKC didn't have that many national TV games this year. It's like, yo, this team they were number 1 last year. Why don't they have more national TV games this year? It doesn't make any sense, you know? Instead, we just want to keep at the beginning of the season. It's like, oh, we'll promote the Lakers, and I get it. They're the Lakers. There's more national worldwide appeal.
It's because SGA, he has the game of box office, right, with the footwork and everything, but he's not really a trash talker. He doesn't give you quotes. He doesn't, you know, go at the other team and, you know, kind of swings his elbows. That's why I'm telling you, Zion has that profile because Zion has the headlines, right? Like for example, his fight to get in shape. That's always a topic. It's always a topic of debate. Is you know, players that you question their desire to be great are always a topic of conversation because they're very tantalizing. They're very polarizing, right? Like we talk a lot about players that way, and the NBA loves players that can give you those headlines because we can talk about it every day, and you can give me your angle on why he's serious, and I can give you my angle on why I don't think he's serious, and then the whole comparisons, and then obviously the athleticism, the dunk package, and then look at the way Zion when he dunks. He's yelling.
Yep.
So he has a little swag. He's competitive. So that profile, that's why they try to push Anthony Edwards to be that. You know, you look at the history, the Kobe's, the LeBrons, like you look at players, it's the player that is just controversial. The league loves to market that player that is controversial and that has a fan base that hates him because that's what creates the drama. For example, the Knicks for clicks. People talk about Knicks for clicks. Why? Because you got people that hate the Knicks and you got people that love the Knicks. So that when people want to create traffic, let me just write this little controversial headline here because I know the Knicks fans are going to pop up in the comment section, and I know the Knicks haters are going to pop up in the comment section.
1000%.
It's kind of the behind the scenes marketing scheme, and that's just the way it is today in society overall.
Yep, absolutely. All right, whoa, we got another call here, JD. We got another call here. We got Flakadam here. What's I don't think I've ever seen you call in before, man. So Flakadamus, unmute your mic. What's going on? Flakadamus, are you there?
Yo,
Flakadamus, what's happening, man? How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great, bro. I was at the game, couple rows behind CP. It was good to see him. I shouted him out real quick. He saw me and my wife. So it was, yeah, bro. So it was a great game. I mean, his birthday coming up, so my wife treated me. It was a good time, man. I'm feeling great. Salute JD, salute you, Alex. Just one quick point, man. All I wanted to say is it has been really nice to really see them Knicks moving the ball, especially in the third and fourth quarter. I made a point about this maybe last year, a while back, and I was like, yo, there's something about when the Knicks move the ball like the Tony Parker Ginobili Spurs that it just does something. And I seen that when before Brunson's injury, when he's off the court and they're able to move the ball because everybody hesitates usually trying to figure out what comes next. But when they just move the ball, trying to find an open man, it just works, man. And I saw that a lot tonight. And I think that needs to continue with Brunson back after the injury. And anytime he's off the court, man, it just works. It just works. That's all I want to say. So salute to y'all, salute to KFTV and Knicks Nation. Y'all good win.
Salute to you, Flakadamus, and happy birthday, my man. Happy birthday. You know, I'm glad that the missus treated you to a nice night to go watch the Knicks defeat the Miami Heat, whoop them. You know, I like to hear that. I like to hear that on the regular. So, but yeah, man, when this team moves the rock, they're undefeated. What was it? Was it the over 34 assists? Is that what it is? When they move this rock that well that they can, you know, essentially defeat anybody, that's what they got to do, man. They just got to stay in rhythm, keep moving the rock, create open looks for everybody else. And that's the recipe for success for this team, man. And you know what? I think that's where we're going to end it, JD. I think that's where we're going to end it. I think that's where we're going to end the show right now because we did it, man. This is a pretty, you know, straightforward win, you know, straightforward win. Knicks defeated the Miami Heat. Loved everything about it. Erik Spoelstra, you lose 8 in a row. He has never happened to this man, but at the hands of Tom Thibodeau and the New York Knicks. All right, everybody. So let's wrap this thing up. You know, to everybody who tuned in tonight, salute to Knicks Nation for tapping for another KFTV post game live. Make sure that hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. All right, make sure to support our sponsor, DraftKings. Use that promo code KFTV to get $200 in extra bonus bets if you just spend $5. All right, and shout out to Do Things. He says salute to Alex and JD. Mitch probably in the chat right now, making sure JD correcting his statements from the other night with the laughing emoji. Shout out for Do Things for being a member for 21 months. All right, and shout out to Kane Marco for the $10 super chat. He said, great win, but I have a gripe. I love Tibbs, but seeing Grimes going off like this in Philly makes me question if he knows what he was on his bench, especially since he was my favorite rookie. Look, man, it's tough. It's tough watching a former Knick just, you know, thrive, especially in the neighboring city. You know, a city that we took down in the postseason last year. It stinks to see it, but them's the break sometimes, man. But appreciate all you for tuning in. Shout out to all the mods. Appreciate you. All right. Shout out to all the regulars. Shout out to Jamaica Queens. Eddie Suarez in here. Shout out to JJ. Shout out to John Talento. We see. I see the rhyme animal Chuck D himself. Make sure to throw a hashtag PE in the chat. Shout out to Junior Caroma. All right. Shout out to Fabian. All right. Shout out to Rico World Peace. Shout out to all you guys, man. Who else we got in here? Oh, we got Barbara Carroll in here. She's a regular too. Shout out to you. Shout out to Kyle Dason for being a franchise channel member. I see CP in here. Shout out to you, CP, for tapping in. Who else we got? We got the Shells. Shout out to the Shells. Shout out to the Chief Modern Operator. Man. Shout out to TM. All right. Shout out to all you for tuning in once again. KG7 Full, also another regular in here. Shout out to all you for tapping in for another KFTV post game live. You already know what to do. If you can't catch us on live, you can be part of the replay gang. We're always here on YouTube, people. Always here on YouTube. So if you can't catch it live, you come back to YouTube and watch it. Or what you can do is that you can download us on any audio listening platform on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. And also make sure to go and subscribe to the newsletter. All right. It's through Beehive. We got phenomenal writers. You got Remy's Recap. We got Jalen. We got Omar. We got Jeff. We got everybody doing the damn thing over there. So make sure to go tap in. We got phenomenal written content. Make sure to go check them out as well. Make sure to check out the KFTV store, man. Make sure to go get your snapbacks. Make sure to go get your t-shirts. Make sure to go get everything. All right, everyone.